appreciated because you feel like one more win, some more effort, and it's really sad. Is it your job to correct people's misunderstanding of you or their problem to figure it out? I'm going to say a little of both. I think if someone misunderstands you once, like just the first time, it's okay, because sometimes we read people wrong. I've started watching a show and I'm like, she's cute, she's probably dumb as hell. And I've eaten my words later and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's not it. I've had many a producer. I'm going to give you an example. She's not living in the country at the moment, but I had a very young producer once upon a time. She had been taken by our producer, the Sugar and Spice producer, Juliet. Jules, amazing. Jules decides to take on Grigno, Valentine, from the digital desk. And I'm like, this little girl is not going to understand this show. She just turned 20, like very recently. What is she going to offer this show? But she always had a breath of fresh air on any issue. She would articulate issues. I don't like this. I don't think we should. She was very opinionated. And I feel like she also stood her ground the way we had those seasoned producers, the Mombies, the Jules, the Dan, who also stumbled on producing and decided, oh my goodness, I think I like this. Now I have Edwin, who is trained in communication, so this comes very naturally to him. But I've also had the Stacys. I've had so many producers here, even Jane, who is fresh. In fact, she's still in school. But I've stopped judging people, but sometimes it's just human nature that sometimes you just read the cover of the book and you're like, like, okay, let's see where this goes. And but it's okay to be misunderstood. When you are misunderstood the first time, it's good to clarify. So please clarify, especially if it affects your work, your relationships, or your reputation. But if you find yourself explaining the same thing over and over again to somebody who doesn't want to understand, that's not your job anymore. That's their comfort zone. There's people who, and I've said this on this show, and I'm going to say it again, even if you saw off your foot, as in like this, na musumeno, and you go and you boil it and you make for them soup, they're never going to see your worth, no matter what. We always assume that the longer we do something, the more it has meaning. And I'll tell you this, if it's in a company, if it's in a relationship, you have been dating this man for 10 years. This man has been telling you when the time is right, when the time and the resources are right, he's going to marry you. It's taken 10 years to interview for that slot. Girl, bye. That's not even your slot. You shouldn't have to wait for 10 years to prove your worth to anybody. Even your place of work, they keep misunderstanding you all the time. Yolanda is aggressive because she stands her ground. Yolanda is this, Yolanda is that, Yolanda is this. I don't like her, she's a show-off. There's a difference between being confident and showing off. There's a difference between being loud and being a nuisance. There's a difference between being loud and not having integrity. But the fact that every single thing feels like a hurdle, maybe that's not the place you're supposed to be working. You're never going to find understanding. And if you're not met at a point of understanding, you'll always feel like, you're chasing something, like your own shadow, like you're chasing your tail. So sometimes it takes longer, of course, to be understood, especially if you're like a little eccentric. I take my time with our trainees and I'm like, okay, right off the bat, from the jump, I probably don't like your personality. But let me see, there must be some things that will grow, like I will grow to like about you. And I'm like, okay, I probably don't like his dressing. I don't like his tone, but this is a good worker. I probably don't like how loud this person is and how they're flirty and it's work. But, oh my God, no one can edit a clip like this one. So there's always, you have to meet someone with some understanding. So if you're not in turn, you yourself met with understanding, then you need to know that that's not your relationship. That's not your friendship. That's not the company that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life at. So you need to know that you can do it once. It's your job to communicate clearly, but it's not your duty to babysit someone's assumptions. But you need to try and clear the air that, I feel like you've read me wrong. Because I always hear also a lot of assumptions. Oh, you're a media girl. You guys like to insert nonsense, And I hear it, and if I care, like, to have this person, or I want to cultivate a relationship, a friendship with this person, then I try to address it and clarify. If I'm just like, you are just a passerby, I'm just, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Peace out. Do you see by force? But if you feel like you're constantly, it's like a treadmill. My Edwin has tried the best he can, and I am not understanding him at all. Edwin is my producer, my on-air producer. Then at some point, he needs to go to the boss and be like, Mimi sasa huyu mama. Sijui formula yake. Can I produce another show? Because this is not working. For your mental health, and more so the fact that this is Movember, and this year's theme is closing the empathy gap. If you're not, because understanding has a facet of empathy, you must empathize, put yourself in someone's shoes sometimes to meet them at that point of understanding. If somebody cannot do that, cannot humanize you and your concerns, you know which finger you're supposed to just flip, and it's not the pointing one, and then you exit stage left. Cindy. But I want to hear from you and how you handle this. Seems like something so, small, but I think it's such a big conversation. Is it your job to correct people's misunderstanding of you